Welcome to the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast, where it's all about life in the car business. Telling you like it is, here's the man with the plan, Terry Cameron.
Welcome back to another episode of the 10-Minute Car Sales Talk Podcast, Buzzer Beater Friday. I'm Terry Cameron. This is episode number 80 of our podcast, and this week we're going to talk about what to say to a customer, how to handle the situation when a customer wants to know what their payments would be if we extended the terms. In other words, the customer asks you, after you've already taken a pencil out and quoted them payments, maybe at 48 and 60 months, and the customer replies, what would my payments be at 72 months? You know the reason they're asking that is because the payments at 48 and 60 months are higher than they want to be. What I want you to do when they ask that question is tell them, guys, I don't know, I can find out, but let me ask you, where are you trying to be on payment? You know, customers complain all the time about how long it takes to buy a car. The process just takes too long, and also about the back and forth with the salesperson and manager, running back and forth and back and forth. And that's what happens when a customer asks us questions like that and we don't know how to handle it. We run back to the desk. Customer wants to know what the payments are going to be at 72 months. Sales manager gives you those payments. You sit down with the customer and the payments are still too high. Or even worse, the payments are lower than they wanted them to be, which means we left some money on the table. And whether you're a car salesperson or a consumer listening to this, there's not a whole lot of money in a car deal anymore. There's not that much. So any chance the customer or the dealer can make a profit, they have to do it. I know nobody believes that we lose money selling cars. You'd be surprised how many times we lose money selling cars to try to hit that number, just to earn your business, to maybe gather a new service customer and maybe a future car buyer. Okay, so customer says, what would my payments be at 72 months? Or what would my payments be if we did add that sunroof? Your response then to them would be, well, I don't know, I can find out, but let me ask you this. What is your budget? Where are you trying to be on payment? They tell you that payment, then you use the magic words, other than. Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I'm going to find out what your payments will be at the extended term. But let me ask you this. What is your budget? Where are you trying to be on payment? They give you that. You respond with, okay, no problem. But other than that, is there anything else keeping us from wrapping this up? You start enjoying your car today. Now you can go to the desk and tell your manager, hey, they want to extend the terms, but they also want to keep their payments right around here. If you don't do that, you're going to go out to the customer, come right back with another question, back to the customer, and right back with another question. Get all of that stuff out of the way before you go to the desk. Eliminate that back and forth that the customer hates. Shorten that buying process that the customer hates. Start thinking about this. What if you were in their shoes? All right, so one more time. Customer says, what will my payments be if we extend the terms? Your response is, I don't know, but I can find out. But before I do that, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, where are you trying to be on payment? What exactly is your budget? They tell you what their payment or budget is. You use other than. Then you go back to your manager and you give them all the information they need to be able to close the customer, to close this deal on this pencil. Not back and forth. It's not really that hard. Practice it. Before I go, I want to remind you guys again, I really could use the ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. And if you have any questions, go to the 10minutecarssalestalk.com website and shoot me an email. You can also find me on Facebook. You can also find me on LinkedIn. But that's probably the easiest way to get to me is through email. Happy holidays, everybody. Remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to this week's podcast. Please rate it on iTunes and visit the 10minutesalestalk.com website to send an email. We appreciate your valuable feedback, and don't forget to share the show with a friend.